Deuteronomy 18 has Baksat Supreme Heti Rabti, as its note for verse 13. Ametz Bazik, as its note for verse 16. And Chemishi over there in the margin. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi. You know, there's no V sound in this language. Shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of God as a verb and noun made by fire, and his inheritance. Therefore they shall have no inheritance among the brethren. God as a verb and noun is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be an ox or a sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks, and the maw, the first fruit also of thy grain, of thy pressed juice, and of thine oil, of the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For God is a verb and noun, thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand, to minister in the name of God is a verb and noun, he and his sons forever. And other groups have this lineage of priesthood to the point where they practically let the religion disappear because they don't have enough people descending through the ranks. And that's why some European and Asian religions disappeared, or claims to religion anyways. But one of the things that is important to point out that's contrary about Islam versus the Judeo-Christian tradition is that the required alms are only for the poor. They're not for houses of worship. They're not for, they're not for some people leading services or anything like that. Certainly, the houses of worship are a good source for voluntary charity, but nothing obliged of everyone or anything like that is part of that sort of thing. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates, out of all Israel where he has sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which God as verb and noun shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of God as a verb and noun his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before established. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. When thou art come into the land which God is a verb and noun, thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of these nations. And sometimes it really does say nations rather than those who turn their back on God, but that's the whole thing, is these things are in a context of they're not turning to the revelation and inspiration or letting thoughts connected to that manifest themselves. They're turning to another source. They're taking it outside of the box, as it said. There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination to God as a verb and noun. Because of these abominations, established thy God, that drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with God as a verb and noun, thy God, for these nations which thou shalt possess, hearkened unto observers of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, God as verb and noun, thy God, hath not suffered thee so to do. Now, it's one thing keeping a sacred calendar, but looking for signs in the sky and saying, this is an auspicious time and an inauspicious time. Obviously, when a meteor might hit or something, there's, you might, well, I don't know what you could prepare for, because some of those things destroy like cities and stuff, but you know what I mean. God is verb and noun thy God, raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him shall ye hearken. Because a lot of these grimoires and stuff like this talk about, well, you have to do this in this particular phase of the moon or the solar year or whatever. When honestly you can path work any time of the year. There may be better times for it, but you don't delay your operations just because, well, no, the moon is waning, so I can't, according to all that thou desirest, O God is a verb and noun thy God, in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of God as a verb and noun my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And God as a verb and noun said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other entities, even that prophet shall die. And if thou shalt say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which God as a verb and noun hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of God as a verb and noun, the thing followeth not, nor come to pass. That is the thing which God as a verb and noun hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. Well, I don't think the point is to be afraid of things, but if they're just doing guesswork, then it's not prophecy. Of course, people who are spiritually gifted may speak to entities that are not reliable. La Yahya Lak Hanim Halwim Kul Shabbat Louis Chulk Wanchala Am Yashra Ashi Yahwa Wan Chaltu Yakrun Wanchala La Yahya Lu Bakrab Achu Yahwa Huwa Nachlatu Kasher Dibber Lu Waza Yahwa Mashpath Hek Hanim Mat Ham Mat Zabchi Hasbach Am Shur Am Shah Wantan Lakhan Hazra Wa Latiyam Waqba Rashid Daguk Tirshuk Witzhurk Wur Ashid Gazdazanak Tetan Lu Ki Bu Butcher Yahwa Al-Hik Makal Shabdik Lamed Lashrat Basham Yahwa Huwa Wab New Kul Himim Waki Yaba Halwi Machad Sharik Makal Yashral Asher Huwa Gersham Waba Bakal Out Napshu Al Hamkum Asher Yibchur Yahwa Washrat Basham Yahwa Al-Hik Bakal Achu Halwim Hamdim Shem Lepni Yahwa Chok Ketchluk Yaklu Libd Memkryu Al Habut Ki Ata Ba Al Hartz Asher Yahwa Al Hik Natan Lakla Talmud Lashut Katu Abut Hagwim Hechem la Yimtsa Buk Mabir Benu Waptu Bash Qasam Qasmim Maunan Wan Nachish Wan Kishaf Wichbur Chibur Wish Al Aub Weed Ani Would Rush Al Hamtim Ki Tu Abd Yahweh Kul Asha Al Wub Alal Tet Wapet Hala Yahweh Al Hik Murish Autumn Mepnik Tamim Tahya Am Yahweh Al Hik Ki Hagwim Hala Asher Ata Yurash Autumn Al Manim Wal Kasmim Yishmau Watah La Natan Lak Yahweh Al Hik Nabya Makrabak Matjik Kamni Yakyam Lak Yahweh Al Hik Al U Tesh Maun Kekel Asher Shalt Mam Yahweh Al Hik Batrib Bum Hekhol Lamer La Asif Lishma At Kol Yahweh Al Hi Wat Hash Hagdalah Hazat La Ar'ah Aud Wallah Amut Yamer Yahweh Ali Hisyabu Asher Debru Nabya Akim Laham Makrab Atchiham Kamuk Winti Debris Bapu Woodbur Aliham Atkul Asher Atsunu Wahya Heish Asher La Yishma Al Debris Asher Yadbur Bashmi Anki Adrush Mamu Ak Henbya Asher Yazid Ledbur Debur Bashmi At Asher La Tzwitzu Ledbur Washer Yadbur Busham Alhim Atrim Wumt Henbya Wa Waki Tamer Bulbabak Ika Nada At Hedbur Asher La Debru Yahweh Asher Yadbur Henbya Bisham Yahweh Wallah Yahya Hedbur Wallah Yabahwa Hedbur Asher Al Debru Yahweh Bestun Debru Henbya La Tegur Memnu Qasam is distributing, determining by lot or scroll, divining, prudent, soothsayer. So you can't just flip through a book and pick a random sentence. The oracle. Okay, so an oracle reader that thinks that the oracle's answering the question rather than deity. Witchcraft. Again, where's the necessary implement that they're doing the meme as something particularly demonic, you know. Chipper is a joining, a fastening, a charming, a compact, a coupling, a fellowship, a healing, a league, a company, association, having a companion, a partner. Um, so I guess in some ways it shares like the with the Arabic meaning of shirk. Um, but again, it's the association, like the object is the doing the things, like people will literally pray to objects and all that stuff. Um, Kshf has the idea of spelling, spells, enchantment. Uh, so basically, moving people by the sound. Um, Again, witchcraft, I don't really see the direct knowledge of demonic things associated with it. Nutchus, snake, owl, familiar spirit. Sawib is the word for snake. Of course, there's broader meanings of the words for snakes.